You don't call this the Whirlwind for nothing. All right, we got another one. So let's get this unboxed and see what we got. All right, so we have another DRC in the house. And you know what they say, third time's a charm. And I think this time is definitely gonna be it. So the last DRC I had was the model 1217. And man, let me tell you, that RC was wicked. It was super fast. I think it was close to 40 miles an hour. It was a little ripper. The problem was when I had the RC, it was just the wrong time. It was dead of winter. I remember it having issues hooking up. The tires just slid everywhere. I also did break a spoiler and the hub when I was jumping it, but it was under 20 degrees, probably somewhere around 15. That was not the car's fault. It was simply just not the right environment for it to be jumping and racing around 40 miles an hour. So it was no fault of the car. And I did find out afterwards that DRC does have an awesome online community through Facebook. So if you have a DRC and you're not part of that community, I definitely recommend joining because you can easily find parts on through there. And there's customer representatives that would love to help you out in case you have any problems. At the end of my video, I said, if DRC can have this RC at a under $100 price point, it would be a winner. So fast forward a couple months and here we are. This is the DRC 1611. So let's get this thing unboxed. We can see here, it says this has a brushless motor, of course, hydraulic shock absorbers, full metal driving system, 2.4 gigahertz, 2 batteries, and a metal gear differential. I really like their simplistic minimalist packaging. Makes it look really clean, almost Apple-like. All right, let's get this thing out. All right, slides out nicely. A lot better than a bunch of plastic like last time. Maybe someone was listening to me. Here's the instruction manual for the truck. I'm gonna go over this in a second. This must be our box with the transmitter. Also got a bunch of other goodies in there. We have our 2 batteries, box of spare parts. And then on this side, we have our transmitter. Oh yeah. So this transmitter feels pretty good in the hand. It's kind of light. I love the foam. My only complaint is this chrome piece. If you can see the truck right there, the truck's really sporty, fast looking. So there is a saying, the drapes don't match the carpet. No big deal. If the wheel was just a tiny little bit sportier, this thing would look a lot cooler. But I've never had any issues with it. It's a pretty good transmitter. Get the packaging off the wheels. So you guys can see, here's our 1611 Whirlwind. Man, this thing looks really good. Looks really sinister up front. I love the look at this, the black, silver, and yellow. Really sharp. Has a nice roof skid guards with LEDs. Can't wait to turn those on. Spoiler looks sharp. Now this thing is modeled after my favorite Arma Vortex. You can just tell they took a lot of cues from that RC, which is a good RC, and man, this might be even better looking in its mini form. Just like the 1217 was a party in a box, I'm sure this is too. Blade. So I was just going through the manual, and there's nothing too important here. So they do provide a diagram where just in case you disconnect the lights, you can reconnect them properly. So that way all the buttons on the transmitter are correct. Here is our parts list. They also have diagrams of where the parts go, and that's about it. So nothing crazy in here that you need to know about. Let's check out what's in the parts box. Ooh, it's almost exploding. What we got here? We have some spare wheel nuts and pins. I like that. We have our USB charger, Phillips screwdriver. Then we have our wheelie bar. Definitely have to install this. Holy cross wrench. spare body clips. One more thing in there. Ooh, what's this? Feels like a differential. Wow. Yes. So they provide you with a spare differential. That's a first for me. A lot more brands should do this. Taking a look at this battery. It is a proprietary battery, which is a bummer, but not really a big of a deal. It does have a power indicator, which is awesome. So it's kind of foolproof. You don't need like a special checker or anything. Let's take off the body. We have some wires that go to the front and rear light. We can see here that this does have a proprietary battery holder tie down, but it's no big deal because I know for sure I can fit a LiPo on this. There's our all aluminum oil filled shocks, double wishbone suspension, a solid steering link, which is nice. No points of breakage. The axle is real chunky. There's our 45 amp ESC. Servo under there is a 17 gram. Motor is a 2840, and it says it has aluminum heatsink. Should be underneath the sticker. Yep. There's the heatsink. Very nice. I like the design around the motor. The underside of the stain looks super tough. I like the design. There's the lights. Now, I mentioned that the proprietary holder on here is not too bad. The reason is you can definitely make a 3S LiPo work. So you just unlatch this, take the battery out. The battery is really cool. It slides into its own little slot, so it's foolproof. Okay, we'll take this battery out. So this piece right here has so much flex that it can just flex over the LiPo. So you just put it over like that, rotate to close, and bam, 3S ready, baby. Pretty cool design. I know some MGXs that will benefit from that. The wheels have two finishes. The inside is gloss and the outside is like a satin-ish type of black. I like that. I don't feel any foam in the tires. They do feel a little grippy, but we'll test that out. Front and rear shocks feel the same. If there is a difference, I can't feel it. Does have some good absorption, but anything's better than friction shocks, that's for sure. So oil shocks, always a win. All right, gonna do a speed run with the 2S battery first to see how it does. Just want to set the vibe by changing the colors. So chassis color, I'm gonna do purple. Might be hard to see because it's daylight. And the headlight, let's do turquoise. Basically the channel is a color thing. 2S track start. Hopped over that little lip there. All right, one more. Oh, this thing's cool, man. All right, stop read. 27 miles an hour. That is pretty impressive for this little 1/16 scale. I definitely didn't expect it to do 27, but yeah, that's really nice. It's awesome that I can wheelie on 2S. Definitely really controllable on 2S, and the wheelies are controllable, which is pretty good. All right, so let's see what I can do on 3S. Probably the first proprietary battery system that I don't hate. For 3S, I'm gonna use my brand new URGENEX 2200 milliamp hour 50C discharge 3S batteries. I've been testing these batteries out in various small scale RCs and they've been really good. This RC is probably gonna be a wheelie monster with this battery. I'll provide a link for these batteries down below and also a coupon code so you can save some money. Alright, so it accepts the 3S, no problem. The lights do reset every time you put on and off the car. Track start, 3S. Woo! Let's try that again. Wow, this thing moves. Definitely woke it up. Oh, it's wheeling in. Wow. Impressive. Gotta ease into it. Ooh, hit the curb. Very slightly though. Woo! Definitely a handful. Damn it. So the drawback of having a small little RC that rips is a little bump can send it flying if it's going really fast, as you just seen. All right, we're back in business. All right, let's give it some run up. I didn't expect it to be this fast. I would have chose a bigger parking lot. All right, definitely got to be easy on the brake, because if you jab the brake too hard, it's going to do a front flip. Yeah, the speed of this thing definitely impresses me. If this thing ends up being faster than the 1217, that'll be really nice. Woo! Ooh, hit that little bump. Got a truck and boat coming in, so we might have to change locations. All right, stop read, 41 miles an hour. That is pretty good for this little thing. Friggin' wheelie machine. Had to switch locations because a bunch of dog people showed up at the last one. Woo! This is where I filmed my last 1/16 RC footage. Yeah, the last RC spot was filled with dog people, and I don't want this thing to become a chew toy. You don't call this the Whirlwind for nothing. Make sure you rake your RC marks after you're done. Be a nice citizen. Woo! Just gonna see how it does on 2S. Woo! Landed that. Woo! Nah. Lawn dart. Woo! Thought I was gonna come at me. So final thoughts, is this a good 1/14 scale basher RC? Yes. This thing is wicked fun. It's really sharp looking. It's insanely fast. It also seems like with every DRC car I have, quality is being improved vastly. Little details like the packaging and just the overall feel of the car. So what I mean by small details is even when you take off the wheel, on other really budget RCs, you take off the wheel, the hex stays into place on the wheel. You gotta like jab it out with like a tool or something. Not this one. Look at, watch the hex. Wow, look at that. It stayed in place. So this doesn't come off and then you lose the pin or anything like that. Everything's nice and tight. Like this doesn't want to come off. That's a plus for me. So good job, DRC. It jumps okay. Most RCs in this range don't do good on jumps because they're really small, low. The wheels are closer together, so air control is a little iffy. If you're definitely going to be doing a lot of jumping, I recommend the 1217. It's a tiny bit bigger than this, or maybe a 12 scale or 10 scale RC. I'm not sure if DRC has anything brushless that's similar to like a stadium truck. Maybe they have something in the pipeline, I don't know. But they definitely need to come out with something. The transmitter is really good. I recommend maybe gluing the foam in place because I had it slide down. If you're going to be running this with children, I definitely recommend keeping it on 2S. 3S is a handful. You can turn the power down with the transmitter, but even then, it still gets a little squirrely. If you're jumping it with 3S, I recommend putting on an extra strap. If this thing starts tumbling at high speed, this battery is going to inject itself, that's for sure. So definitely add an extra strap if you're doing 3S jumping. But like I said, if you're going to jump, I highly recommend picking up a little bit larger scale, like a 1217. Both are good options from DRC. And I can't wait to see what else they have coming through the pipeline.